Have a nice day, children. Today our lesson is History, Unit 8, Nationalism, Gandhian Phase. Introduction. Mahatma Gandhi arrived in India in 1915 from South Africa after fighting for the civil rights of the Indians. He brought with him a new impulse to Indian politics. He introduced Satyagraha, which he had perfected in South Africa, that could be practiced by men and women, young and old. As a person dedicated to the cause of the poorest of the poor, he instantly gained the goodwill of the masses. Masses means people. In this lesson, we shall see how Gandhi transformed the Indian national movement. Gandhi and mass nationalism. Evolution of Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869 into a well-to-do family in Porbandar, Gujarat. His father, Kaba Gandhi, was the Diwan of Porbandar and later became the Diwan of Rajkot. After passing the matriculation examination, Gandhi sailed to England in 1888 to study law. In June 1891, Gandhi returned to India as a firm believer in British sense of justice and fair play. On returning to India, Gandhi's attempt to practice in Bombay failed. It was during this time that a Gujarati firm in South Africa sought the services of Gandhi for assistance in a lawsuit. Gandhi accepted the offer and left for South Africa in April 1893. Gandhi faced racial discrimination for the first time in South Africa. On his journey from Durban to Pretoria at the Pietermaritzburg railway station, he was physically thrown out of the first class compartment. Gandhi was determined to fight. Gandhi was introduced to the works of Tolstoy and John Ruskin. He was deeply influenced by Tolstoy's The Kingdom of God is Within You, Ruskin's Unto This Lost, and Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. Gandhi's ideas were formed due to a blend of Indian and Western thought. Despite being deeply influenced by Western thinkers, he was highly critical of Western civilization and industrialization. Inspired by Ruskin, Gandhi established the Phoenix Settlement 1905 and the Tolstoy Farm 1910. Equality, community living, and dignity of labor were inculcated in these settlements. They were training grounds for the Satyagrahis. Satyagraha as a strategy in South Africa. Satyagraha means truthful way. Gandhi developed as a strategy in which campaigners went on peaceful marches and presented themselves for arrest in protest against unjust laws. He experimented with it for fighting the issues of immigration and racial discrimination. Meetings were held and registration offices of immigrants were picketed. Even when the police let loose violence, no resistance was offered by the Satyagrahis. Gandhi and other leaders were arrested. India's mostly indentured laborers and hawkers continued the struggle despite police brutality. Finally, by the Smith-Gandhi agreement, the poll tax on indentured laborers was abolished. Gandhi's early satyagrahas in India. Gandhi regarded Gopal Krishna Gokhale, whom he had met on previous visits to India, as his political guru. On his advice, Gandhi traveled the length and breadth of the country before plunging into politics. This enabled him to understand the conditions of the people. It is on one of these journeys through Tamil Nadu that Gandhi decided to discard his flowing robes and wear a simple dhoti. Champaran Satyagraha. In Champaran in Bihar, the Tinkadiya system was practiced. Under this exploitative system, the peasants were forced by the European planters to cultivate indigo on 3/20 of their land holdings. Towards the end of 19th century, German synthetic dyes has forced indigo out of the market. The European planters of Champaran, while realizing the necessity of relieving the cultivators of the obligation of cultivating indigo, wanted to turn the situation to their advantage. They enhanced the rent and collected illegal dues as a price for the release of cultivators from the obligation. Resistance erupted. Rajkumar Sukla, an agriculturist from Champaran who suffered hardship of the system, prevailed on Gandhi to visit Champaran. On reaching Champaran, Gandhi was asked by the police to leave immediately. When he refused, he was summoned for trial. The news spread like wildfire and thousands swarmed in the place in support of Gandhi. According to Gandhi, the country thus had its first object lesson in civil disobedience. He was assisted by Braj Kishore Prasad, a lawyer by profession, and Rajendra Prasad, who became the first president of independent India. The lieutenant governor eventually formed a committee with Gandhi as a member, which recommended the abolition of the Tinkadiya system, thereby ending the oppression of the peasants by the indigo planters. The success of Champaran Satyagraha, followed by his fruitful intervention in Ahmedabad mill strike in 1918 and the Geda Satyagraha 1918, helped Gandhi establish himself as a leader of mass struggle. Unlike earlier leaders, Gandhi demonstrated his ability to mobilize the common people across the country. Rowlatt Satyagraha and Jallianwala Bagh Mazarman attack. The Government of India Act 1919, however, caused disappointment as it did not transfer real power to the Indians. Besides, the government began to enforce the permanent extension of wartime restrictions. The Rowlatt Act was enacted, which provided for excessive police pass, arrest without warrant, and detention. Detention means without warrant and without explanation, without trial. Gandhi called it a Black Act, and its protest called for a nationwide satyagraha on 6th April 1919. It was to be a non-violent struggle with fasting and prayer, and it was the earliest anti-colonial struggle spread across the country. It was to be a violent struggle with fasting and prayer, and it was the earliest anti-colonial struggle spread across the country. The anti-Rowlatt protest was intense in Punjab, especially in Amritsar and Lahore. Gandhi was arrested and prevented from visiting Punjab. On 9th April, two prominent local leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, were arrested in Amritsar. General Dyer's brutality. Brutality means cruelty. On 13th April 1919, a public meeting was arranged at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, as it happened to be Baisakhi Day, that is a spring harvest festival of Sikhs. The villagers had assembled there in thousands. General Dyer, on hearing of the assemblage, surrounded the place with his troops and an armored vehicle. The only entrance to the park, that was surrounded on all sides by high walls, was blocked, and firing took place without any warning. The firing lasted for 10 minutes till the troops ran out of ammunition. According to official report, 379 were killed and more than 1,000 injured. Unofficial estimates put the toll at more than 1,000. After the incident, martial law was declared and many people in the Punjab, especially Amritsar, were flogged and forced to crawl on the streets. The brutality enraged Indians. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood. Gandhi surrendered his Hazari Hind medal. Khilafat movement. The First World War came to an end in 1918. The Caliph of Turkey, who was considered the head of Muslims of the world, was given a harsh treatment. A movement was started called Khilafat movement, led by the Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Sauhat Ali. Gandhi supported the movement and saw in it an opportunity to unite Hindus and Muslims. He presided over the All India Khilafat Conference held at Delhi in November 1919. Gandhi supported Saugat Ali's proposal of three national slogans: Allahu Akbar, Bande Matram, and Hindu Muslim ki Jai. Hindu Muslim ki Jai. The Khilafat Committee meeting in Allahabad on 9th June 1920 adopted Gandhi's non-violent non-cooperation program. Non-cooperation was to be begin on 1st August 1920. Next, non-cooperation movement and its fallout. The Indian National Congress approved the non-cooperation movement in a special session held in Calcutta on September 1920. It was subsequently passed in the Nagpur session held on December 1920, chaired by Salem C. Vijaya Raghavacharya. The program of non-cooperation included surrender of all titles of honors and honorary officers, non-participation in government functions, suspension of practice by lawyers, and settlement of court disputes by private arbitration, boycott of government schools by children and parents, boycott of the legislature created under the 1919 Act, non-participation in government parties and other official functions, refusal to accept any civil or military post, boycott of foreign goods and spreading the doctrine of Swadeshi. Non-tax campaign and Chauri Chaura incident. Gandhi announced a no-tax campaign in Bardoli in February 1922. These movements greatly enhanced Gandhi's reputation as a national leader, especially the peasants. On 5th February 1922, a procession of the nationalists in Chauri Chaura, a village near Gorakhpur in present-day Uttar Pradesh, provoked by the police, turned violent. The mob means nothing but people. The mob burnt the police station. 22 policemen lost their lives. Gandhi immediately withdrew the movement. Next one, Swarajists. Meanwhile, Congress was divided into two groups, pro changes and no changes. Some of the congressmen led by Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das wanted to contest the elections and enter the legislature. They argued that the national interest could be promoted by working in the legislative councils under hierarchy and wrecking the colonial government within. They were called the pro-changers. Staunch followers of Gandhi like Vallabhbhai Patel, C. Rajaji and others known as no-changers wanted to continue non-cooperation with the government. Despite the opposition, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru formed the Swaraj Party on 1st January 1923, which was later approved by special session of the Congress. However, the Swaraj Party began to decline after the death of its leader C.R. Das in 1925. Constructive program of Gandhi. After the Chauri Chaura incident, the Gandhi felt that the volunteers and the people had to be trained for a non-violent struggle. As a part of this effort, he focused on promoting Khadi. Khadi means dress made by Indians. Hindu-Muslim unity and the abolition of untouchability. He exhorted the congressmen go throughout your districts and spread the message of Qadar, the message of Hindu-Muslim unity, the message of anti-untouchability, and take up in hand the youth of the country and make them the real soldiers of Swaraj. He made it compulsory for all Congress members to wear Qadar. The All India Spinners Association was formed. Next one, boycott of Simon Commission. On 8th November 1927, the British government announced the appointment of the Indian Statutory Commission, composed of 7 members headed by Sir John Simon. It came to be widely known as the Simon Commission. It was an all-white commission with no Indian member. Indians were angered that they had been denied the right to decide their own constitution. All sections of India, including the Congress and the Muslim League, decided to boycott the commission. Wherever the commission went, there were protests and black flag marches with the slogan, "Go back, Simon." The protesters were brutally assaulted by the police. In one such assault in Lahore, Lal Lajpat Rai was seriously injured and died a few days later. Nehru Report. The Simon boycott united the different political parties in India. An all-party conference was held in 1928 with the objective to frame a constitution for India as an alternative to the Simon Commission proposals. A committee under the leadership of Motilal Nehru was formed to outline the principles on the basis of which the constitution was to be drafted. The committee's report, known as the Nehru Report, recommended dominion status for India, elections of the central legislature and the provincial legislature on the basis of joint and mixed electorates, reservation of seats for Muslims in the central legislature and in provinces where they are in a minority, and for the Hindus in northwest frontier province where they were in the minority. Provision of fundamental rights and universal adult franchise. Next one, the struggle for Purna Swaraj and launch of civil disobedience movement. In the Congress session held in Lahore in December 1929, with Jawaharlal Nehru as the president, Purna Swaraj was declared as the goal. It was also decided to boycott the Roundtable Conference and launch a civil disobedience movement. 26th January 1930 was declared as Independence Day and a pledge was taken all over the country to attain Purna Swaraj non-violently through civil disobedience, including non-payment of taxes. The Indian National Congress authorized Gandhi to launch the movement. Salt Satyagraha movement. A charter of demands presented to the Viceroy Lord Irwin with an ultimatum to comply by 31st January 1930 included reduction of expenditure on army and civil services by 50%. Next, introduction of total prohibition of liquor, then release of all political prisoners, and reduction of land revenue by 50%, and last one is abolition of salt tax. At the age of 61, Gandhi covered a distance of 241 miles in 24 days to reach Dundee at sunset on 5th April 1930. The next morning he took a lump of salt, breaking the Salt Law. Round Table Conferences. The first Round Table Conference was held at London in November 1930. Ramsay MacDonald, the British Prime Minister, proposed a federal government with provincial autonomy. The Congress did not attend it as its leaders were in jail. The conference closed without any decision on the question. Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Lord Irwin held talks with Gandhi, which resulted in the Gandhi-Irwin Pact on 5th March 1931. The British agreed to the demand of immediate release of all political prisoners not involved in violence, return of confiscated land and lenient treatment of government employees who had resigned. The Congress agreed to suspend the civil disobedience movement and attend the conference. Gandhi attended the second roundtable conference, which began on 7th September 1931. Gandhi refused to accept separate electorates for minorities. As a result, the second conference ended without any result. Renewal of civil disobedience movement. On returning to India, Gandhi revived the civil disobedience movement. This time, the government was prepared to meet the resistance. Martial law was enforced and Gandhi was arrested on 4th January 1932. Soon, all the Congress leaders were arrested too. Protests and picketing by the people were suppressed with force. In the meantime, the third round table conference was held from 17th November to 24th December 1932. The Congress did not participate in the conference as it had revived the civil disobedience movement. Communal Award and Pune Pact. On 16th August 1932, Ramsay MacDonald announced the Communal Award. It provided separate electorates to the minorities via Muslims, Sikhs, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and women and the depressed classes. After intense negotiations, an arrangement was arrived between Gandhi and Ambedkar, known as the Pune Pact. Its main terms were the principle of separate electorates was abandoned. Instead, the principle of joint electorate was accepted with the reservation of seats for the depressed classes. Reserved seats for the depressed classes were increased from 71 to 148. In the central legislature, 18% of the seats were reserved. Okay, next one, campaign against untouchability. Gandhi devoted the next few years towards abolition of untouchability. His engagement with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made a big impact on his ideas about the caste system. He shifted his base to the Satyagraha ashram at Wardha. He undertook an all India tour called the Harijan Tour. He started the Harijan Sevak Sangha to work for the removal of discriminations. He worked to promote education, cleanliness and hygiene and giving up of liquor among the depressed class. An important part of the campaign was the temple entry movement. 8th January 1933 was observed the temple entry day. This is okay. Next, beginnings of socialist movements. Inspired by the Russian Revolution of 1917, the Communist Party of India (CPI) was founded at Tashkent, Uzbekistan in October 1920. M.N. Roy, Ambani Mukherjee and M.P.T. Acharya were some of its founding members. The British government in India made vigorous efforts to suppress the communist movement by foisting a series of cases in the 1920s. In a further attempt to eliminate the threat of communism, M.N. Roy essayed Muzaffar Ahmed, M. Singaravelar, among others, were arrested and tried in the Kanpur conspiracy case of 1924. Foundation of Communist Party. The communists used it as a platform to propagate their views and to expose the true color of British rule in India. In an attempt to form a party, an All India Communist Conference was held at Kanpur in 1925. Singaravelar gave the presidential address. It led to the founding of the Communist Party of India in Indian soil. Their efforts eventually led to the establishment of the All India Workers and Peasants Party in 1928. Next one, revolutionary activities. The youths who were disillusioned with the sudden withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement by Gandhi took to violence. In 1924, Hindustan Republican Army (HRA) was formed in Kanpur to overthrow the colonial rule by an armed rebellion. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and their comrades recognized the HRA in Punjab. Influenced by socialist ideas, they renamed it as Hindustan Socialist Republican Association in 1928. Sanders, a British police officer responsible for the Lathi charge that led to Lala Lajpati Rai's death, was assassinated. Assassinated means killed. Bhagat Singh, along with B.K. Dutt, threw a smoke bomb inside the Central Legislative Assembly in 1929. Bhagat Singh's daring and courage fired the imagination of the youth across India, and he became popular across India. Left movement in the 1930s. The effects of depression were reflected in decline in trade returns and fall in agricultural prices. The governmental measures included forcible collection of land revenue, which in real terms had increased twofold due to a 50% fall in agricultural prices, the withdrawal of money in circulation, retrenchment of staff, and expenditure on developmental works. In this context, the Communist Party, fighting for the cause of peasants and industrial workers hit by loss of income and wage reduction and problems of unemployment, gained influence and was therefore banned in 1934. In 1934, the Congress Socialist Party was formed by Jayaprakash Narayan, Acharya Narendra Dev and Mino Mazani. First Congress Ministers under Government of India Act 1935. The Government of India Act 1935 was one of the important positive outcomes of the civil disobedience movement. The key features of the Act were provincial autonomy and diarchy at the center. The Act provided for an All India Federation with 11 provinces, 6 chief commissioners provinces, and all those princely states which wished to join the federation. All the subjects were transferred to the control of Indian ministers. Diarchy that was in operation in provisions was now extended to the central government. The franchise based on property was extended through, though only about 10% of the population enjoyed the right to vote. By this act, Burma was separated from India. Congress ministries and their work. The Government of India Act 1935 was implemented with the announcement of elections in 1937. The Congress immensely benefited because of the civil disobedience movement. The Congress called off its program of boycott of legislature and contested elections. It emerged victories in 7 out of the 11 provinces. It formed ministries in 8 provinces, that is Madras, Bombay, Central Provinces, Orissa, Bihar, United Provinces, Northwest Frontier Provinces. The Congress ministers functioned as a popular government and responded to the needs of the people. Legislative measures were adopted for reducing indebtedness of the peasantry and improving the working conditions of the industrial labor. Temple entry legislation was passed. Special attention was paid to education and public health. Developments leading to Quit India movement. Individual Satyagraha. In August 1940, Viceroy Linlithgow made an offer in return for Congress support for the war effort. Hence, Gandhi declared limited Satyagraha, which would be offered by a few individuals. Vinoba Bhave was the first to offer Satyagraha on 17th October 1940. The Satyagraha continued till the end of the year. During this period, more than 25,000 people were arrested. Cripps Mission. On 22nd March 1942, the British government sent a mission under Cabinet Minister Sir Stafford Cripps. The Cripps mission offered grant of dominion status after the war. Indian princes could sign a separate agreement with the British implying the acceptance for the demand of Pakistan. British control of defense during the war. Both the Congress and the Muslim League rejected the proposal. Gandhi called the proposals as a post-dated check on a crashing bank. Do or die called by Gandhi. The All India Congress Committee that met at Bombay on 8th August 1942 passed the famous Quit India resolution demanding an immediate end to British rule in India. Gandhi gave a call to do or die. Gandhi said, "We shall either free India or die in the attempt. We shall not live to see the perpetuation of our slavery." A non-violent mass struggle under Gandhi was to be launched, but early next morning on 9th August 1942, Gandhi and the entire Congress leadership was arrested. A role of socialists. With Gandhi and other prominent leaders of the Congress in jail, the socialists provided the leadership for the movement. Jayaprakash Narayan and Ramnath Mishra escaped from prison and organized an underground movement. Women activities like Aruna Asaf Ali played a heroic role. Usha Mehta established Congress Radio Underground, which successfully functioned till November 1942. Subhash Chandra Bose and INA. Subhash Chandra Bose, who had left the Congress, was now under house arrest. He wanted to strike British hard by joining its enemies. Bose reorganized it to three brigades: Gandhi Brigade, Nehru Brigade, and a women's brigade named after Rani of Jhansi. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the Provisional Government of Free India in Singapore. He gave the slogan Dilli Chalo. INA was deployed as a part of the Japanese forces. However, the defeat of Japan stopped the advance of INA. The airplane carrying Subhash Chandra Bose crashed, bringing to an end his crusade for freedom. The British government arrested the INA officers and put them on trial in the Red Fort. The trial became a platform for nationalist propaganda. They were released due to public pressure. The INA exploits and the subsequent trials inspired the Indians towards freedom. Royal Indian Navy revolt. The Royal Indian Navy revolted at Bombay in February 1946. It soon spread to other stations involving more than 20,000 ratings. Similar strikes occurred in the Indian Air Force and the Indian Signal Corps at Jabalpur. Thus, the British hegemonic control ceased even in the armed forces. Cabinet mission. In Britain, the Labour Party had won a landslide victory and Clement Attlee became the prime minister. He declared that he wanted to transfer power at the earliest. He sent a cabinet mission comprising Pettit Lawrence, Sir Strafford Cripps, and A.B. Alexander, rejecting the demand for Pakistan provided for a federal government with control over defense, communications, and foreign affairs. The provincials were divided into three groups: whereas non-Muslim majority provinces, Muslim majority provinces in the northeast, and the Muslim majority provinces in the first one is northwest. Here Muslim majority provinces in the northeast. A constituent assembly was to be elected and an interim government set up with a representation for all the communities. The Congress and the Muslim League accepted the plan. However, both interpreted it differently. Next one we will see about the Mountbatten Plan. Lord Mountbatten was sent in Viceroy to India with the specific task of transfer of power. On 3rd June 1947, the Mountbatten Plan was announced. It proposed power would be transferred on the basis of dominion status to India and Pakistan. Next one, princely states should have joined either India or Pakistan. Next, boundary commission was to be set up under Radcliffe Brown, and the award would be announced after the transfer of power. The last one, Punjab and Bengal legislative assemblies would vote on whether they should be partitioned. Independence and partition. The Mountbatten Plan was given effect by the enactment of the Indian Independence Act on 18th July 1947 by the British Parliament. The Act abolished the sovereignty of the British Parliament over India. India was partitioned into two dominions, India and Pakistan. On 15th August 1947, India won independence. I hope you are all understand this lesson. Take care of yourself. Don't waste your time. Go through the lesson. Learn book back, question and answer. Okay, thank you, ma. Bye.